Yep, it still stands, and we're talking about Clemson guys. For my next pick here, I'm going with another Clemson guy, and I know the Chargers are up here next. I'm almost tripling down here because they got the Bosa brother, they got Khalil Mack, they got a whole bunch of guys on this defensive line at the Chargers. But I'm gonna go with Brian Bresee, Jake. The reason why I say that is because the guys that I just mentioned. Khalil Mack, who knows how much time he has left, right, on his playing career. And so getting guys behind him to learn, to understand the playbook before that does happen. So I'm going with Brian Bresee. One thing that really stood out for me, Jake, the guy's 6'5", 298. He ran a 4.8 on the 40. So come on, sign him up, right? And so have him in the interior, let the two guys on the outside eat. But one thing I really liked about him is his motor, Jake, his ability to rap. We talked about this pick rap concept, right? Where one guy comes down and the other guy raps around. I think Brian Bresee is his best when he's rapping. You see over and over on this tape where he's getting constant sacks on these pick and rap plays. So, I would love to see a guy like Brian Bresee is a big guy. So there's not going to be much going on inside there. I know we got Morgan Fox on the Chargers and we got, other players that can make it happen, but I would like to see someone step in, a big name, and support these guys on the outside because at some point they're going to leave. So I would love to see him be inserted there. And like I said, his motor is high. He has a high motor. And one thing that's really funny when you watch his tape, Jake, is he runs like his knack to get to the quarterback. He runs like a wild man. So you'll see him kind of rap, and then you'll see him like, trying to get to the quarterback. But he gets it done. You could just tell like he has a will to do it. And sometimes he can't get there because his body won't move him fast enough, even though he ran a 4.8. But, his will and his mind is like, ooh, I've already made this sack. So now come on here. So Brian Bresee, I love to watch him play. And like I said, great motor. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with the great motor part. He's got heavy hands. He hits you and you go back. I think Bresee he's kind of a day one, day two guy for me. So he actually didn't make it in my first round. So I think that's the first time we had a difference where a guy's in the first round, a guy isn't. But interesting pick there. And looking at their depth, I mean, Austin Johnson's a good player and Morgan Fox is a good player. And Sebastian Joseph Day, of course, he's Sebastian Joseph Day. But after that, there's not a ton there. So I could definitely see that, and we'll see where they go in that direction. But Cam, I gotta say, I think the Los Angeles Chargers need some electricity. And I think that electricity is going to come out of wide receiver Zay Jones out of Boston College. Mm-hmm. When you look at the receiver room, it's Mike Williams, Joshua Palmer, okay, and then you have Keenan Allen in the slot. I think Keenan Allen can definitely play on the outside, okay? Mm-hmm. I think you can... Zay Flowers, to me, can be used as a slot, can be used on the outside. He has the physicality to win. He's been somewhat compared to Antonio Brown, and I'm not going to lie, I see it.
Yeah, I do too.
I think he's just got this energy about him where he wants to do everything and he wants to do it well. And the thing that really stood out to me when I became a fan that he was going to be the number one wide receiver taken is when I'm watching the tape, I'm like, okay, Jackson Smith and Jigba, he tried, not a great blocking effort. I watched Jordan Addison. Okay, not bad, not great. And then I watched Zay Flowers, and he just took this guy and slammed him down like he was a wrestler in WWE. And I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, okay, I'm liking this tape right now. And just to see, his urgency out of his breaks, he's got the speed to threaten you deep. He's got the speed and the quickness and the agility and the foot speed overall to make a man miss in space. You can see him on tape going up and high pointing the football. He plays bigger than he is. To me, Josh Palmer now becomes one of the best wide receiver fours in football, bar none, because he's good enough to play. But we're trying to win championships over here in LA. The Rams did it. And if I'm the Chargers right now, I got Justin Herbert. Okay. I don't know what the whole Austin Eckler thing's going to end up being, but I got to focus on getting my guy Justin Herbert weapons, regardless of how the whole Austin Eckler thing goes. I need to get him another receiver. I need to get him Zay Flowers.
Yep, you're right. And you mentioned the receiving core at the Chargers. They're excellent, but you just need that extra spark or that jolt of electricity, as you mentioned. And you talked about the Antonio Brown comparison. Jake, I see it too. I saw a play on this highlight tape and watching this film where it was a red zone play. He was going behind the line of scrimmage. He motioned, he came back, and he came back the other way and then scored a touchdown. I'm like, that he looking like Antonio Brown. Just the way he's stopping, he's starting. It's very efficient. And like you said, he wants to do the little things right. And I can see that as Zay Flowers. And there's a couple, I know he's a little bit further down on my list, but you know what? I'll save that. I'll save that for later. But I'm just going to let you know that I see the Antonio Brown piece, and he's coming down on my list pretty soon. So I'll talk about it a little bit later.
Hey, and Cam, you know, they lost their return man in free agency, whose name is escaping me. So now he becomes the return guy too, like Antonio Brown was.
Oh, snap. Yeah, no, I really love that pick, Jake, and I can definitely touch on him a little bit later.